So this book, I think, was controversial because of the subject, but as we both know, this book was at least perceived to be controversial because of the author.
Yeah, right.
So the idea here, to sum up the Fox News interview that was famous and also enormously beneficial to you, I hope you sent a fruit basket to Roger Ailes when this was all done, is because...
He would have probably had it searched for bombs.
He would. Or certainly he would have had somebody, Sean Hannity, taste it for him, let's say.
Exactly, yeah.
Let's say that the distillation of this whole line of thought was, because you are a Muslim, clearly you had nefarious motives.
Right.
In writing this book, you sought to denigrate Christianity, you sought to denigrate people who believe. That was basically the distillation of their...
That's pretty much it, yeah.
Can you sort of talk about why, what, how, and what what is or was going through your mind at that time?
I'm not sure what was going through my mind. The whole thing was quite surreal for me, to be honest with you.
As it unfolded in real time, this famous interview, backlash to the backlash resulted from it. Did you think to yourself, I can't believe this is actually the place they're going, or did you walk into it thinking, I'm tempting them basically to attack me?
I know Fox News.
Yes.
I mean, I know what Fox News is about.
Right.
This is a network that has spun anti-Muslim sentiment into ratings gold. I mean, the kind of absurd, ridiculous, offensive, disgusting things that are said on a daily basis on Fox News about not just Muslims, but about American Muslims, is something that you just can't ignore. That is what Fox News is about.
Yeah.
So I would be lying if I said that I went into that interview thinking that they weren't going to, come out attacking me in some way. So I kind of expected the first question.
Yeah.
And I sort of expected the second question. The third question kind of took me by surprise. By about the 10th question, that's when I realized, I see.
Oh, okay, right.
So this is what we're doing.
Yeah.
We're not ever going to move on.
Even by the expectations that you had going into it, still quite something.
But I think part of it has to do with the fact that I think there's two things going on here. One is that, of course, there's a great deal of anti-Muslim sentiment in this country, and so for certain people, particularly certain people at Fox News, anything that anyone who happens to be Muslim does is by definition suspect.
Right.
Yeah. But it also has to do, I think, with an inability to think about religion as a scholarly endeavor.
Yeah.
You know, this is something that my colleagues deal with all the time. You know, like you're on a plane and someone says, "What do you do?" And you say, "Oh, I'm a scholar of religions," and they immediately like, "Oh my, did I swear? Oh my God, are you a priest?" And it's like, no, this is actually scientific, academic endeavor.
Right.
You know,
Right.
The history of religions is something that people do. So. I think, no one says, "What do you do?" I'm an architect. Oh my God, my house sucks. I can't, No one does that, So I think that's part of it. And I think, honestly, that's much more our fault than anyone else.
Right.
I mean, most of my colleagues spend so much time sitting in a dusty library poring over the vowel markings of some, 14th century text, and are completely oblivious to the rest of the world. And I've never been that way. From the very beginning of my career, I've always been about communicating to popular audiences, making things accessible, making them appealing, and that's, I think, where my successes come from.